decided to bring a new powertrain into the pool, so as a result had to start from the pit lane and then serve a stop and go penalty. So his second race in Berlin was effectively over before it began. But that little flash of pace in qualifying was a much needed encouragement for Cassidy, I think, because he's struggled a little this year considering how strong he was last year.
Yeah, I think exactly right, Jack. I think he was so strong last year, but as a driver he'll know that he did his job, regardless of where he started or what happened. You know, he knows that he did his job. He knows that the car felt good for him, and that will give him, as you say, that confidence. And like all sports, racing is a lot about confidence and not second guessing yourself when you're driving the car.
Cassidy here behind Jean-Eric Verne as they come into the first corner. Backs off a little. There's Cassidy to give himself a bit of a gap to Verne, who's still at the top of the times. Here's a look at Cassidy coming into 7. Getting right up to the wall. Sylvain Philippe and Mike Lugg, the managing director, and the can't remember the exact title of Mike Lugg, chief technical man,
engineering person,
chief engineer. That's got to be it. Is it going to be chief engineer? Maybe it's chief engineer. And this is their other driver at Division, Robin Freitz. A little adrift after no points on the first day in Berlin after a horrible qualifying. And then 5th on the second day was a little better. Qualified on the front row actually, but ended up slipping back, missed attack mode, which cost him a place or two, but was kind of happy with best of the rest and felt that he wouldn't have been able to really beat the Mercedes anyway.
Yeah, it looked a fairly interesting day for him in Berlin. Just looking at the attack mode, talk about that, the sensors have been placed for entrance position near the end of the attack mode activation zone, the 3 sensors you're going to cross, and I think it's going to cost a lot more time than maybe at first looked, and especially as the inside of the corner is banked as well, so if the people that stay on line will be able to carry a bit more speed than they normally would through a 90 degree. Oliver Turvey up to P2 in the Neo.
10 minutes to go. A reminder, hashtag Jakarta E-Prix on the social medias. Also at FIA Formula E on all the social medias if you want to keep up to date with everything that's going on over the course of the day. And there's also the live hub at FIAFormulaE.com/live, where you can get race day coverage and live timing and exclusive content on there as well. So that's how you can keep across all the action today, of course, as well as joining us here. Natalie points out his technical director, Mike Lugg, is technical director. Thank you, Natalie.
Thank you, Natalie.
9.5, not chief engineering man, which is, I think, a better title, but up to him.
It's more distinctive.
So Turvey second, as you say. This is his teammate Dan Ticktum, and he's 5.6 seconds off, so he's not pushing this time, but he might go on the next one.
Could be a prep lap.
Yeah, it's a reasonable lap from Turvey, and the qualifyings for Neo have got a bit better, actually. There is attack mode, right on the exit of turn 16.
It is awkward, which is great for us.
Ticktum qualified 14th in Monaco, Turvey qualified 15th and 14th in the 2 Berlin races, so they've had a car inside the top 15 the last 3 E-Prix, Neo.
It's starting to look a bit better. There's some light at the end of the tunnel for the Neo guys, and it's good to see. 7 points scored so far this season.
8.5 minutes on the clock. Here comes Oliver Rowland on the power on a 200 lap out of the final corner. I think he's on full power actually as he comes across the line. Might be doing a fan boost test, so we'll see. Yeah, it's gone off now, so I think it was just a little fan boost as he comes into the first corner now.
You can see he used a different line to start the lap, a wider turn, and to get a better exit to accelerate across the line. We'll see that qualifying this afternoon as he starts the lap.
220 kilowatts, of course, in the normal mode, and then 250
It's just nodding. It's even written here in the notes.
Yeah.
You can see that they're not using all the road out of the sort of turn 8 area, and that's just because they're trying to prepare for the next corner, turn 9. people out this afternoon as people start pushing harder.
Out now towards turn 18. I like that. I really like 17 because you've got to get it back over so quickly, so you can't use the whole road.
Exactly right. And I think that's true for so many corners on this circuit. It's true for turns 3, 4, 7, 8, because it's just combination after combination of corners, and it's a real rhythm section of a real rhythm type of track.
And when we see it again, you'll see that there's sort of a dotted entry to the pit lane and then a solid entry to the pit lane there. You see the dotted bit, they're allowed to cross that when they come out of the left-hander, but then they can't cross the solid bit of the pit lane entry. Here comes Andre Lotterer there, full power, and let's watch him down towards turn 1 then. The German who has he's avoiding the bumps quite dramatically there, isn't he, into turn 1?
Yeah. Must be running the car low if he's doing that.
The only driver to have made it into the qualifying duels every single race.
Still doesn't want to race.
No, still doesn't want to race.
Unbelievable. Today could be the day. Yeah, this car is low. Look how it's hitting the bumps into 7, which is why he avoided those bumps on the main start finish straight.
A few days in Jakarta, meeting some of the locals as Andre Lotterer on his Instagram, which is always a fun thing to follow.
He's got some proper cars as Andre Lotterer.
Yeah.
He loves his old cars as well.
Fastest middle sector of anyone. He's a 1/10 of a second down on Jean-Eric Verne at the moment. Turn 16.
Bit of understeer through 16, the front of the car sliding.
Very tidy through 17. Let's see what this does compared to Verne. 3rd. Just under 2 tenths away. Jake Dennis currently in 2nd place. Incident between De Vries and Da Costa has been noted by the stewards. So not sure what happened out there with De Vries and Da Costa, but something has. As Roland now comes through the sweepers. Down towards 13. And he's a 10th down. He's in at 250 kilowatts as well here. A 10th down after the middle sector. And he's got a bit of traffic up ahead. And the traffic doesn't really get out of the way very much. Antonio Giovinazzi.
A bit naughty from Giovinazzi there. And from his engineers not to tell him what's going on.
Giovinazzi into the final corner. Less than 5 minutes to go across the line. Roland goes 4th fastest in the end, a 1/4 of a second slower than Jean-Eric Verne. And there is Da Costa back in the pit lane with 4 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock.
And this track doesn't discriminate. It tortures the left and the right side tyres equally. I think there's many lefters, right-handers, so with setup as well, you've got to be very symmetrical on the setup of the car. Some of the tracks have got so many more corners in one direction that you can maybe change the setup a bit to turn better left or right. Not the case here in Jakarta.
Line 2 taking a bit of a wide line, or a different line, let's say, into the first corner to avoid the bumps. Oliver Roland was saying on the radio that the tyres are going off very quickly. And it's not even that hot here at the moment.
Not yet. Humid. But again, that's something that for this afternoon, that's going to be so difficult to do tyre management. You see Oliver Askew getting out of the way. Elizabeth maybe held up Pascal Wehrlein. And he's got the next Avalanche Andretti car ahead of him. Dennis.
Can you do anything in particular to help tyres, or is it just driving? Because obviously you don't want like a slidey car, but you don't want a slidey car anyway, presumably.
Yeah, you've got to just drive within the grip level and not slide if you can, which is obviously easier said than done. If you can keep the car just within its grip level of the 4 tyres, then that really helps. But every time you slide, the tyre temperature goes up, so the car slides more, so the tyre temperature goes up. It's the most vicious circle to get involved in. And obviously the guys can help with the dampers and stuff to give you that extra mechanical grip that you need.
Okay, and then a big cool down now. Big cool down now.
Big cool down. This is De Costa and De Vries. Oh,
What was
that's a big old moment. I think that feels like it was De Vries trying to get out of the way at the last minute, but De Costa had already committed to try and go past on the inside.
Absolutely right. I don't think there was anything. I just don't. Yeah. Was he getting out of the way because his teammate was in the same line as him straight ahead? Yeah. I mean, it looks like I don't think there was anything. Now we're going to have a little chat. Okay. He's like, yeah. See if there's any hand signals.
Interesting.
Hey, what is going on with those two?
2 minutes to go.
Call it that, it's gone. That's half your practice gone.
De Grassi is now...
Hey teams, this is race control. I want to ask you to please have your drivers respect the cones at the pit entry. Respect the cones, do not cross that line on driver's right, please.
Respect the cones at pit lane entry, so that's in the pit lane itself, I think, rather than this left-hander here. De Vries is up after the middle sector. Chucking it around 17.
You did say you don't use all the road in 17, but De Vries begs to differ.
Across the line. And it's third quickest. 1 minute 8.667. A few other quick laps coming in right at the end of the session. As you can see, the tower lighting up purple because people are in full power runs currently. And Nick De Vries goes third fastest, almost has a collision with Sebastian Buemi. Those are the cones that we're talking about here. So they've got to keep to the left of those cones. I doubt anyone's. Oh, maybe it's when they're coming into the weighbridge or something.
Or they might be cutting the corner.
Yeah. But they're not going to be whacking the cones, are they? Maybe, yeah. De Vries feels like Stoffel Van Dorn blocked him a moment ago.
Inter-team. De Vries is having a bit of a morning.
He is, isn't he? There he is in the Mercedes EQ, having just done his lap. Here comes Stoffel Van Dorn, his teammate.
Will he repay the favour? Stoffel Van Dorn locking up the inside front into 13. No. Gets out of his way.
He's 6 tenths down after the middle sector. Oliver Rowland's actually flying. Here comes Van Dorn now. And De Vries is just in front of Rowland. Here comes Van Dorn into the final corner, and I think De Vries got in Rowland's way a little bit there as well. So we'll see what the lap time is in the end for Rowland. Van Dorn goes 15th and takes the checkered flag. Rowland goes quickest. A 1 minute 8.433 for Oliver Rowland, and I think that might end up being the quickest lap time.
By the Mahindra team, Oliver Rowland.
Yeah. Here's Sam Bird. He is only 2 tenths down after the first 2 sectors.
He's pushing.
Sorry, he was 2 tenths down after sector 1. He's half a second down after sector 2.
Dare I say he's overdriving a little bit, Jack. We're talking about not sliding the tyres. It looks like Sam just doesn't have the mechanical grip. Yeah, just needs to back it up a little bit. Not push quite so hard. Easy for me to say, sit here in the air conditioning.
Here comes Bird through the final corner after that little lock-up at 16. And Bird doesn't actually improve on that lap. Ends up 12th fastest in the Jaguar. And he's not happy with the balance on that car, Sam Bird, on the radio. And that's it. Rowland's going to end the session quickest, a 1 minute 8.433. Oh, but Buemi nearly got him right at the line. Only 900ths away, Sebastian Buemi. So Mahindra and Nissan, first and second.
Good to see that. I mean, 8th and 9th in the team's championship for those guys. Nice to see the pace. See them run up front. Let's hope they can do that again when it counts in qualifying later this morning. So
practice starts coming up. Very difficult to read too much into that session though, because you've got De Grassi there in third, Dennis in fourth. Championship leader is Stoffel Van Dorn. He's down in 16th place in the end, slower than Oliver Turvey. Eduardo Mortara, 11th fastest. So there's an awful lot of things to shake out before qualifying gets underway. As you can see, 7:46 in the morning here in Jakarta.
Look how wide the track gets.
It's going to be
entry to turn 1.
Yeah, are you expecting some like off the line? That's going to be quite something, because you're going to be also at. You know what? This is probably. I'm just trying to think of anywhere with a longer run. to the first corner. Maybe Mexico. Diriyah. I think this is longer than Diriyah.
Yes, it is. It's a decent sized run. Rome's a reasonable run now because it starts down the hill. It's a reasonable run, but I think this is longer.
I think this might be one of the longest runs.
But it's so wide. Yeah. What do you reckon? I think in track guide I said 7 wide.
You think we'll get 7 wide?
Well, you might. At this lot, you might. You just never know.
No, that's so true. We'll be back in an hour or so for free practice 2.
Just like that.
Yeah.
The teams have got to debrief. The hardest thing for the drivers, I think, or one of the hard things, is they can't get out of the humidity. They can't got to find an air-conditioned spot. So hopefully their sort of driver pods are air-conditioned. I guess there's a bit of a battle of the paddling pools going on. Everybody's got these ice baths out the back.
Yeah, allegedly so. Yeah. The teams were saying the drivers were saying on Thursday they were comparing paddling pools and which ones the teams were going to go and get. So I've not seen any just yet. Were you a paddling pool kind of man in your racing career?
No, absolutely not.
Really?
No.
Why?
Uncomfortable.
Oh, too cold?
Yeah. No, it just. No, just never.
But were other drivers doing it?
Yeah, some of them were jumping in them, and it just looked. Yeah, the ice bath thing just looked uncomfortable. Possibly benefits, I don't know.
Yeah.
Comfort is everything, Jack.
Jaguars is up. Jaguars is up out the back of the garage. It's a nice blue and orange number. Here's a look at the results then. After FP1, Oliver Rowland gets to 1 minute 8.433. 900s ahead of Sebastian Buemi and Lucas Di Grassi in third place. It's like being back in season 3. Jake Dennis is 4th, Jean-Eric Verne 5th. Look at that, less than 2 tenths between the top 6. Antonio Felix da Costa, De Vries, there in 8th place. Just over 2 tenths, the top 8. Verline, Freitz and Mortara, the 11 drivers at the top. And then Nick Cassidy, I guess, didn't get a run in. I imagine, well, the Dragon Penske's a little struggling. Good 18th fastest. Stoffel Van Dorn only down in 16th position, the championship leader, but
baru Indomie goreng rasa ayam pop dengan mie bulat-bulat nyoy, bumbu rame rempah dan sambal pedas tendang. Indomie goreng rasa ayam pop, rempah pedasnya pop Marco Pop.
Tubuh kehilangan massa otot hingga 33% setelah usia 30 tahun. Minum Ensure 2 kali sehari, nutrisi lengkap dan seimbang dengan triple protein. Bantu jaga massa otot, kekuatan, dan daya tahan tubuh. Ayo beli sekarang.
Beda kegiatan, beda masalah, beda counterpain-nya. Hangat di counterpain cream untuk redakan nyeri otot. Sensasi counterpain cool untuk pendinginan saat olahraga. Hebat! Pakai counterpain cool. Praktis, tinggal oles, tidak lengket. Sensasi cool, cocok untuk pendinginan saat olahraga. Counterpain merah untuk nyeri otot. Dan sensasi dingin, counterpain biru, cocok untuk olahraga.
Mimpi duet bareng idolamu sudah di depan mata. Pertama kalinya.
Acara yang sukses di Korea dan Spanyol.
Variety show terbaru akan hadir di Indonesia.
Siapapun bisa jadi pasangan duet penyanyi populer Indonesia.
Buktikan bakat spektakulermu di hadapan para panelis.
Siap berduet dengan idolamu?
Fantastic Duo
Di MNC TV. Beda kegiatan, beda masalah, beda counterpain-nya. Hangat di counterpain cream untuk redakan nyeri otot. Sensasi counterpain cool untuk pendinginan saat olahraga. Hebat! Pakai counterpain cool. Praktis, tinggal oles, tidak lengket. Sensasi cool, cocok untuk pendinginan saat olahraga. Counterpain merah untuk nyeri otot. Dan sensasi dingin, counterpain biru, cocok untuk olahraga.
Cross Check malam ini pukul 9 malam hanya di iNews.
Emangnya ada waktu buat sakit kepala? kepala? Panadol Extra cepat redakan sakit kepala dan nyeri yang mengganggu. Dapat diminum sebelum makan dan tidak menyebabkan kantuk.
Baru Indomie goreng rasa ayam pop dengan mie bulat-bulat nyoy, bumbu rame rempah dan sambal pedas tendang. Indomie goreng rasa ayam pop, rempah pedasnya pop Marco Pop.
Beda kegiatan, beda masalah, beda counterpainnya. Hangatnya counterpain cream untuk redakan nyeri otot. Sensasi counterpain cool untuk pendinginan saat olahraga. Hebat! Pakai counterpain cool. Praktis, tinggal oles, tidak lengket. Sensasi cool, cocok untuk pendinginan saat olahraga. Counterpain merah untuk nyeri otot. Dan sensasi dingin, counterpain biru, cocok untuk olahraga.
Tubuh kehilangan massa otot hingga 33% setelah usia 30 tahun. Minum Ensure 2 kali sehari, nutrisi lengkap dan seimbang dengan triple protein. Bantu jaga massa otot, kekuatan, dan daya tahan tubuh. Ayo beli sekarang.
Beda kegiatan, beda masalah, beda counterpainnya. Hangatnya counterpain cream untuk redakan nyeri otot. Sensasi counterpain cool untuk pendinginan saat olahraga. Hebat! Pakai counterpain cool. Praktis, tinggal oles, tidak lengket. Sensasi cool, cocok untuk pendinginan saat olahraga. Counterpain merah untuk nyeri otot. Dan sensasi dingin, counterpain biru, cocok untuk olahraga.
Berjualan mie ayam di usia yang tak muda lagi menjadi takdir yang harus dijalani oleh Nur Hayati. Bersama suaminya Solihin, Nur Hayati harus membanting tulang demi membiayai hidup keluarga. Gerobak tua inilah yang menemani Nur Hayati mencari nafkah. Keterbatasan ekonomi membuat niat Nur Hayati untuk mendapatkan gerobak baru hanya sebatas mimpi.
Pas kita beres-beres, baru masuk, tahu-tahu papannya jatuh ke bawah.
Papan apa?
Papan yang buat naruh mangkok.
Assalamualaikum Bu.
Waalaikumsalam.
Bu, ini ada bantuan dari Perindo, biar Ibu lebih semangat lagi, agar supaya jualan Ibu lebih maju.
Terima kasih, alhamdulillah. Indonesia.
Ya pemirsa, baru saja kita saksikan free practice pertama di mana Olivier Roland berada di posisi pertama, kemudian Sebastian Buemi di posisi kedua dan Lucas de Grassi di posisi ketiga. Ya, Mas Wahab, Anda melihat apa sebetulnya settingan yang diinginkan oleh tim dan juga pembalap di free practice pertama?
Ya, sebenarnya kalau settingan lebih banyak ke mechanical grip atau mereka mencoba satu lap yang mereka bukukan itu sebenarnya membutuhkan energi berapa. Hitung-hitungan itu pasti, meskipun mereka udah ada prediksi. Tetapi ini kan ada beberapa hal yang harus disesuaikan di lapangan. Contohnya sekarang mungkin suhunya masih 28-27 derajat. Pada saat race nanti mungkin suhunya udah meningkat menjadi 32 atau 33. Itu pengaruh sekali. Sebenarnya 27-28 buat mereka udah panas. Apalagi nanti. Tetapi kan ada prediksi hujan juga pada saat race nanti. Nah itu semuanya akan dihitung pada saat practice ini nanti. Dan rata-rata kalau pembalap sendiri saya lihat tadi banyak yang menyesuaikan sirkuit. Menyesuaikan dalam arti dia akan ngerem di mana, dia ngambilnya gimana, tikungan, bagaimana di racing line-nya di mana, seperti itulah kira-kira.
Baik, Mas Wahab, tahan dulu komentarnya. Saya akan menuju ke rekan saya sudah siap di sirkuit Ancol Jakarta. Mana dengan rekan Bayu Pradana. Bayu.
Ya, tim dan pemirsa, salam olahraga. Baru saja kita saksikan yaitu sesi latihan pertama bagi 22 pembalap. Dan ini memang bukan yang pertama kalinya mereka merasakan track dari Jakarta International E-Prix Circuit, di mana mereka kemarin juga sudah melakukan shakedown untuk mencicipi bagaimana menantangnya Jakarta International E-Prix Circuit. Dan sebelumnya juga kemarin kami sempat mengobrol bersama dengan sejumlah pembalap. Memang mereka menjelaskan kepada kami salah salah satu persiapan selain adanya sesi latihan pada hari ini, dan kemarin juga mereka sebelumnya ini sempat mencoba Jakarta International E-Prix Circuit ini dengan secara virtual reality melalui simulator, dan memang sangat menantang di mana kalau kita lihat ada 18 tikungan yang ada di Jakarta International E-Prix Circuit ini, dan salah satu yang paling menantang adalah bagian kalau kita dari atas memang Jakarta International E-Prix Circuit ini menyerupai warisan budaya nasional yaitu kuda lumping, dan bagian yang paling menantang adalah tikungan yang paling menukik yaitu di bagian kepala kuda lumping. Dan juga memang selain itu juga yang menjadi tantangan bagi para pembalap, yang diakui para pembalap adalah cuaca dari Jakarta belakangan ini yang memang terlihat cukup panas, di mana dari kelembapan dan cuaca ini juga mempengaruhi performa mereka. Namun sejumlah kesiapan sudah mereka lakukan dari jauh-jauh hari, termasuk hari ini, di mana tadi kita sudah melihat yaitu sesi free practice pertama mereka, dan tadi Oliver Rowland juga cukup memberikan performa yang cukup maksimal. Namun nantinya masih ada beberapa sesi lagi seperti free practice sesi kedua, dan juga nantinya akan ada sesi kualifikasi sebelum nantinya balapan Formula E untuk pertama kalinya di Indonesia di Jakarta International E-Prix Circuit ini dilaksanakan pada sore hari. Tio.
Ya, Bayu, bagaimana dengan euforia? Tentunya kita menyambut sebagai tuan rumah E-Prix yang pertama, Jakarta E-Prix atau Formula E 2022 di sana, Bayu.
Kalau kita lihat memang dari jauh-jauh hari euforia untuk menyambut adanya olahraga Formula E ini cukup luar biasa. Masyarakat sangat antusias di mana Formula E ini untuk pertama kalinya diselenggarakan di Indonesia. Antusiasme ini juga terlihat dari ludesnya tiket yang sudah terjual baik dari grandstand maupun juga dari sejumlah festival atau lounge yang disediakan di berbagai titik di Ancol, Jakarta Utara ini. Pagi ini kami melihat masih ada sejumlah persiapan, kami belum melihat adanya masyarakat, namun diantaranya sudah hadir adalah Gubernur Jakarta, Bapak Anies Rashid Baswedan, yang sudah melakukan pengecekan untuk pertama kali untuk kesiapan Formula E di Jakarta ini. Tio.
Baik, Bayu, terima kasih laporan Anda langsung dari sirkuit Ancol, Jakarta. Selamat bertugas, dan tentunya nanti kami akan kembali untuk Anda di free practice kedua. Baik, Mas Wahab, Anda melihat tentunya kita istirahat dulu, kita ngopi dulu, nanti kita kembali lagi di free practice kedua ya. Mas Wahab ya, jangan kemana-mana. Baik, pemirsa, terima kasih Anda telah menyaksikan di Formula E musim 2022 free practice pertama, dan kami akan kembali untuk Anda tentunya di pukul 08.50 waktu Indonesia Barat untuk menyaksikan free practice kedua dari Jakarta E-Prix 2022. Saya Tio Nugroho, salam olahraga.
Acara ini dipersembahkan oleh